Hey, Jay Carper here from American Torah, and I'm reading from Charlie Kirk's Stop in the Name of God. I'll put an Amazon affiliate link to that in the video description or in the comments, depending on where you're watching this. If you haven't picked it up already, I recommend that you do. It's a good book. I'm in chapter 3, the history of the Sabbath. And, Western culture in America, historically, we haven't kept a seventh-day Sabbath. We've kept a first-day Sabbath, which is not God's Sabbath. It's a man-made tradition. And in fact, people started keeping a Sunday Sabbath in order to keep people from obeying God's commandments and looking too Jewish. So it's disobeying God in order to avoid persecution or because people hated Jews. I'm not going to try to mind read people from 1700 years ago. But it really was not a good thing. It was a man-made thing invented to justify disobeying God. But regardless of that, a communal Sunday Sabbath still served a very useful purpose for our society. Everybody was keeping the same Sabbath day. It helped families stay together. It kept communities and neighborhoods all on the same page. If you're all keeping the same Sabbath day, it means that nobody is shopping, nobody's doing business on that day. This is the day when neighbors can get together and families can be together. So I want to read a couple of pages from this chapter, not pages, just a couple of paragraphs from the history of the Sabbath. The disappearance of Sabbath protections marked more than a legal change, it was a cultural shift. Sunday became indistinguishable from Saturday, a day of errands, games, consumption, and digital distraction. Historian James Smith is credited with noting that the weekly Cathedral of Time was quietly rezoned as a shopping plaza. The effects rippled beyond religion. Families found it harder to gather. Worship became optional. Youth sports leagues filled Sunday mornings once reserved for church. The steady hum of retail and entertainment diminished opportunities for shared stillness. Time was no longer sanctified. It was sold. I'm not going to say that there was a grand conspiracy to remove the Sabbath from our shared traditions. But it's hard to avoid that conclusion in some ways. I'm also not going to say that removing the Sabbath is what has really degraded our society and removed God from the public square. But it was part of it. It was a really important factor. And, Karl Marx said that in order to remake the world and society in this Marxist utopian image, which is really one of the most dystopian, horrifying visions for humanity anybody has ever invented, in order to do that, they first had to destroy the family, because the family is the single most important unit of a cohesive society. And if communists were going to impose this totally unnatural state of affairs on all of humanity, first they had to destroy the natural state of mankind. And the most natural state of mankind is the family. So even though Sunday isn't God's Sabbath, it still served a really useful purpose in helping families stay together. Kids weren't off at school. They weren't off doing sports. Nobody had to work that day. So everybody got to be home. Everybody went to church together. And when this Sabbath day was, all the protections were removed, then communists and capitalists were essentially working together to destroy the family. The Sabbath was this glue that kept families and neighborhoods, whole communities, on the same page, moving in the same direction, on the same rhythm. And once you remove that, it starts to fall apart. All of God's commandments regarding the Sabbath say that you are to ensure that your children and your wife and your servants, everybody that you are responsible for, takes this same day off. So when we complain that our public schools and Hollywood and politicians or whoever are tearing family apart and undermining the moral fabric of America or whatever country you live in, What are you doing about it? Are you keeping the Sabbath? I mean, that's one of the most basic things. God created Adam and Eve. He created mankind, put them together, told them to be fruitful and multiply, and then he gave them the Sabbath. That's not a coincidence. So if you want to hold your family together, if you want to hold your community together and reinstate public moral standards, start keeping the Sabbath. And if everybody keeping the wrong day as the Sabbath was such a powerful factor in holding people together, in keeping our culture all on the same page, just imagine how much more powerful the seventh day Sabbath, God's Sabbath, would be if we all kept it together. Keep God's Sabbath with God and your family on the same day, and you will start to see your family coming together again. Get your neighbors to do it. Get everybody you know to keep the seventh day Sabbath all together. And we will start rebuilding our culture along the lines that God intended. Not that these crazy utopianists want it to be rebuilt around their horrific vision of people as cogs in a giant machine to be molded and remade according to their own image, their own fantasies. We were created for a purpose. And when we try to get out of that purpose, try to get out of the mold that God made us for, things start to break, not just in our society, but in our own hearts and in our minds. There's so much insanity in the world because we are so far removed from living the way that God means us to live. And getting back to the Sabbath is a vital part of restoring the mold that we're supposed to be living in. You want your kids to be sane? You want to stop all this trans sanity? Start by restoring the Sabbath in your house. This is Jay Carper with American Torah. Shabbat Shalom.